a better understanding than looking at a slideshow. Oh, it's plenty of dark right there.
Legend has it that Rome was founded in 753 BCE and named after Romulus, who was son of the god of war and who was rescued by a she-wolf. Following the line of 7 legendary kings, the city turned from a monarchy into a republic, a word derived from res publica, or property of the people. The power of the monarch passed to 2 consuls annually elected by the citizens of Rome. Real political power gradually became in the hands of the Senate. Although it initially included only men from the patrician class, the Roman Republic is generally considered one of the earliest examples of representative democracy. Throughout most of its existence, the Republic was in a state of war and demonstrated extreme resilience. After it was sacked by the Gauls in 390 BCE, Rome rebounded and conquered the whole Italian peninsula, before waging 3 wars against its greatest enemy, Carthage. Although it was initially defeated by General Hannibal, who famously crossed the Alps, the Roman Republic recovered and established itself as the dominant power following the brutal destruction of Carthage. Continuous warfare led not only to Rome's growth, but also to its cultural development. Besides the acquisition of Latin language from Latium and the adoption of several cultural aspects from Etruria, it was ancient Greece that influenced Rome the most, as apparent in its art and architecture. Unlike Greek city-states, however, which excluded foreigners, Rome incorporated conquered peoples who adopted Roman ways into its social and political system. At home, Rome experienced different crises which ended in civil wars, some of them caused by mass slavery, including the one led by Spartacus. In the context of such internal turmoil, the office of dictator was revised by Sulla and then later by Julius Caesar, who crossed the Rubicon River to defeat Pompey in a civil war. Julius Caesar emerged as dictator for life, but was quickly assassinated by a group of senators rebelling against his authoritarian reforms. These assassins were defeated by Caesar's heir Octavian and Lieutenant Mark Antony, who then turned against each other. The defeat of Mark Antony, who was based in Egypt alongside his ally and lover Cleopatra, at the decisive Battle of Actium, marked the end of Hellenistic Greece, the demise of the Roman Republic, and the rise of the Roman Empire. To avoid meeting his predecessor's fate, Octavian cleverly ensured to make his position as absolute ruler acceptable to the public by apparently restoring the political institutions of the Roman Republic while in reality maintaining all power. For example, although we now refer to him as the first Roman emperor, he never took that title and called himself Princeps, which means first citizen. Augustus' rule brought much needed stability and was followed by the Pax Romana, a 200-year-long Roman golden age of expansion and prosperity. A series of Roman emperors would rule the empire for centuries, including Nero, for example, who committed suicide after a reign of tyranny and extravagance. With China, the Romans established regular trade along the Silk Road, whereas they were in continuous rivalry against the Persian Empire. Unlike most religions today, approval from the Roman gods did not depend on a person's behavior, but on perfectly accurate observance of religious rituals. The Romans enjoyed public baths, public toilets, underground sewage systems, and fountains. None of these aquatic innovations would have been possible without the engineering marvel of the Roman aqueduct, which moved water through gravity into cities, promoting public health and sanitation. The development of cement and concrete and the use of arches partially explain why massive Roman structures are still standing today. Also, advancements in the construction of roads, locks and keys, newspapers, and the concept of satire were either invented or improved upon by the Romans. Following the Roman crisis of the 3rd century, Diocletian decided to administratively divide the very large empire by appointing a senior co-emperor and 2 junior successors. The Greek-oriented East and Latin West gradually diverged and became rivals, as the Roman Empire saw a series of civil wars between its co-emperors. Constantine I emerged as the sole emperor and made Constantinople the new capital. Although Jesus had been executed by Rome 3 centuries earlier, Constantine legalized Christianity as he became the first Christian Roman emperor. This new god, unlike the gods of old, had no special interest in Rome. He was the god of all people, and this distanced the religion of Rome from the state of Rome. Due to internal instability and invasions by Germanic tribes, Rome was sacked multiple times and the once mighty Roman Empire declined forever, marking the transition from antiquity to the Middle Ages. The Eastern Roman or Byzantine Empire survived and remained an effective power for 1,000 years, whereas the Holy Roman Empire later rose in the West also for 1,000 years. Although both did not much resemble ancient Rome, such enthusiasm is a sign of how deep an impression Rome had left on later generations.
Cool, for nothing. Thanks. All right. So that's a quick brief history on the Roman Empire and how it fell. We left off here yesterday. So we talked about Rome in the video a little bit. So Rome starts as a republic, but eventually grows and splits in two. When you have large territory like that, it's hard to maintain with one person. Empires fall because they constantly have enemies. So, Carmine, can you read for me a little bit of the decline of Rome and how it started to go downhill? Starting with Rome's growth and good fortune.
Oh, shoot.
You can read
The whole thing.
Or we're also on slide 8.
The whole thing?
No, not the whole thing. I'll stop you when it's good.
Alright. Oh, shoot. I don't think I'm on it. Alright. Rome's growth and good fortune eventually came to an end. The Roman Empire's prosperity and size was its undoing. The end of the reign of Marcus Aurelius, AD, skip that,
Yeah.
marked the end of the Pax Romana.
Yep.
The rulers for the next century ineffectively dealt with the giant empire and its problems. Rome's economy weakened substantially in the 3rd century AD. Hostile tribes beyond the Roman Empire's boundaries disrupted trade on land. Pirates attacked Roman ships in the Mediterranean. Agriculture suffered as a result of the soil being overworked, hurting its fertility.
Thank you. We'll stop right there. Also, perfect
Yeah.
timing because I got a phone call. Hopefully one of you is not in trouble. Mass Yellow's room. Hi.
That's right.
Who's Lester? Guidance? Do you know where that is? I'll send someone with him. Okay, bye. Go ahead, Jay, you're the first one with your hand up. Take him to guidance. Come back. We won't need a pass. Bring your bag too, just in case. Okay, so this. What? Do you have to go that bad? Go to the bathroom. If you're waiting that long, yeah. Just go on. So let's go with the following ones. What eventually led to the fall of Rome? Go from here and add these things here. So what was one cause? Yeah, they had multiple enemies in a lot of directions. What do you need? How did they eat back then? What's the biggest, before we had stores and all that? You had to do, how did you acquire food? You either hunted or you had to do what? What's one of the oldest techniques? How do we get vegetables?
Farming.
Farming, yes. Farming became hard because what did it say in the thing? What happened with the soil? Overworked, yes, overworked soil meant they had bad growing seasons. Was Rome a big or small empire? Big. So that means you have to feed a lot of people. If you can't grow food, what's going to happen to a lot of people? They're going to starve to death. So the rich people are still going to have food, but a lot of the poor are not going to be able to eat. Quickly go to this before I go right back. Talk about here, you had enemies, pirates, agriculture sufferers, and you had bad leadership. And that Pax Romana. Underline that word, italicize it. So Pax Romana, I know I'm moving fast and I'll make sure to go back to this, but Pax Romana definition is Roman peace, right? For 200 years they had good peace, they had stability, they had food. When he dies, it leads to conflict. So many tabs. There we go. Yeah. Yes, absolutely. Last thing for this one is going to be the West and the Byzantine Empire, while the West will be conquered by the Huns. Still the Huns will eventually lead to the fall of Rome, which will lead to the Dark Ages. So next week we're doing the Dark Ages. It's not dark because the lights go off. It's dark because for about 500 years the world becomes illiterate. The Roman Empire was good because they had books, they had roads, they had architecture, and when the Hun people take over, they destroy everything. They burn all the books, they destroy all the technology, minus some of the structures. None of the people in the Huns know how to read. So how do you teach people how to read if you don't know how to read? It's a period of great stupidity. A period of a lot of war. Let's move on. Look at the Byzantine Empire for about 10 minutes, and we'll be done for the day. So how does Rome transform after it splits? Need a new reader. Can you read for me before you go to the bathroom? Yes. Can you read for me Constantine and Christianity?
In 3102, one of the contenders, a leader of Rome, Constantine, prepared to battle his chief rival. How do you say that word?
Constantine?
Constantine?
Yes.
For divine help. Constantine reported that he saw the image of the cross, a symbol for Christianity. Constantine ordered that
Artisans.
put the symbol on his sword or shield. Constantine and his men were victorious. Constantine credited his success to the Christian God. 3113.
Constantine.
Announced an end to the persecution of Christians. In the Edict of Milan, he declared Christianity to be one of the empire's religions. Constantine controlled his rivals in the Western Empire, but not control it until 300. But would not control the East until 324.
Thank you. So, Byzantine Empire. This is what it looks like down here, so you guys have an idea of what we're talking about. Down here is what the Byzantines control. So modern day Greece and modern day Middle East. So obviously we know today the people in the Middle East, in Pakistan, Afghanistan, what religion are they? We know? They're Islamic, yes. So Byzantine's Christian, but the Islam Empire is going to conquer them later on. We'll get into that probably when we start doing African Middle Eastern history. So the Byzantine Empire, new topic here, Byzantine Empire. Who's in charge of the Byzantine Empire? What's their leader? Go ahead. Who's the leader of the Byzantine Empire? So with the C. Yes. All good?
Yeah, translation.
You speak Spanish? Sounds the right person. You go up here, there should be a little bullet list right there on your thing. That's how I do a bullet thing. Is it mandatory to take ROTC as a freshman?
No.
It is? Some people are saying they're yes.
Oh, well, it depends. You can either do JRTC for like 2 years or hope for one.
Or hope for one. So you have to take either or. I used to teach Hope. Hope's a pretty easy class. Do you guys ever dress out for Hope over here?
We have to.
So for Hope, what? It's 3 days in the classroom, 2 days like PE.
Every day was PE. Sometimes if they felt like we should stay inside.
Oh, you guys never do classroom work?
Sometimes. No, sometimes.
Just sometimes? But what's the PE like in Hope? Do you have to do like a lot of exercises or is it like just basketball and stuff?
No, we're
They
outside.
have like new stuff every day.
Like walk the track? Or...
If you don't dress out, you walk the track. If you did dress out, then you can play the game that they do.
Oh, there's Hope games? Oh, that sounds like
Yeah, so it's like flag football, soccer, basketball.
we missed when I taught PE. Okay. Go look back here. Team. Okay, Byzantium, I'll read this part. In 330, Constantine moved the capital from Rome to the Greek city of Byzantium, present-day Turkey. The new capital stood on a body of water known as the Bosporus Strait, strategically located for trade and defensive purposes on the crossroads between the east and the west. The center of power of the Roman Empire shifted from Rome to Byzantium. It was protected by massive walls filled with imperial buildings modeled after those in Rome. The city was renamed Constantinople. So going back to the notes, the capital city moves from Rome to Constantinople. Did I spell that right? No. Why was it so defensively great? Why do we think that, we just read about it, but what did Constantine put up around his city?
I can't spell.
Massive walls and fortifications. At the time, gunpowder is not an invention yet, neither is cannonballs. It's men charging with spears. And sometimes, if you're powerful, yes, after she gets back. If you're powerful, you've got war elephants. So your basic Roman soldier looks like this. Not necessarily jacked, but a 12-pack of abs. More like this guy. So this versus a brick wall is not going to do much. However, an elephant is very powerful.
Something.
I'd rather have that. I don't know if they meow, but oh, that's cool. I've never seen an elephant on a boat before. I don't know how it's even possible. But that's amazing. Technology back then, making an elephant fit on a boat, just incredible.
That's crazy.
That is crazy. Seeing as an elephant weighs well over 1,000 pounds. Just like in Clash of Clans, right? You build up your cities with protection, right? Kind of the same thing. This is like Clash of Clans in real life. Build up your cities, build up your armies, fight the army next to you, take their land, take their golds.
Not
build
so
their civilians.
not so fun when it's real.
Yeah, it's fun to not be there. It's fun to play Clash of Clans, I'm sure.
Yeah.
4 minutes left. We're done for today. For real, I always give you guys the last 10. 40 minutes. That's what I asked for. So I think we can always do 40 minutes, right? That's me. It also makes me get set up for the next class. If she's not back in 2 minutes, you can go. Okay, I'll go back to that in a second. You ready for me the fall of Western Rome?
Me?
Yeah. And that will be the last reading slide for today.
Where is that?
Right below Byzantium.
The slope?
Yep, the slope.
This one?
The slow decline of the Western Roman Empire became a free fall as outside invasions compounded the internal problems and pushed it over the edge. Germanic tribes that coexisted with Rome on the empire's northern frontier. There were occasional rebellions and attacks. Romans called the Germanic tribes and other non-Romans barbarians.
Stop right there just for a sec. So they're called barbarians because they're not educated. They're good with war, but they don't know how to read, they don't know how to write, they don't know how to build roads. They are nomadic people. What is from your knowledge of last year, what does it mean if you're nomadic? You don't stay in one area. If you're a nomad, you're constantly moving. So they don't have big developed cities like Rome does. So the Empire of Attila the Hun, they travel by horseback all over the place. They never stay in one area more than once. So they just travel around. There's no really established land. So that's why the Holy Roman Empire is split into a bunch of different kingdoms. It looks like a mess. That's what it looks like. When you don't know how to build a map and you stay in different areas, you have, I don't even want to look at how much there is. Because you'll just see different random plots everywhere. It looks like a 5-year-old made a painting. So go back, do slideshow. Thank you for reading for us. Around the year 370, a group of fierce Mongol tribes, the nomads from Central Asia, the Huns, moved in the region, destroying everything in their path. That's why it led to the Dark Ages. We'll talk about that. They burned everything. The other tribes fled out of Rome. the Lancers escaped the Huns. In 410, the hordes of Germans overran the Rome itself and plundered it for 3 days. The Huns then attacked in 444 under a powerful chieftain named Attila. Attila's armies attacked the east, plundering 70 cities, and attacked the west. In 452 AD, the armies attacked against Rome, and bouts of famine and disease kept them from conquering the city. While the Huns were no longer a threat, the Germans kept invading them until the last emperor was ousted in 476. So the fall of the emperor led to the fall of Rome and the beginning of the Byzantine Empire in the east. So Rome will fall because of invaders. We'll go over all of that tomorrow. Today, this is what we're going to leave off with. Just finish up this last part right here. The last 10 minutes will be yours, but please stay in your seat. If you've got other stuff you got to do in your Chromebook, go for it. Other than that, thanks for another good class. I'll try and switch up from slideshows to guided notes. Once she gets back. There's a long line right now. But go ahead and go to the bathroom if you want. So once she gets back, you can go. Here you go. Switching out people.